I'll be the matriarch in this life. Chapter 128, Astana's hidden agenda, release date, recap and spoilers. The previous chapter showed how a shocking twist put the protagonist into a feeling of urgency. She begins to doubt her sanity as a result, wondering if she could be seeing things. She declares at the beginning of her story that she must travel to the center of the empire, no matter what. The surprise is increased when Perez, a typically serious character, flashes an odd smile, which raises more questions. As the narrative goes on, the characters have some amusing guesses regarding Perez's romantic life. They talk about anything from Perez's surprising interests to his alleged sweet tooth, and their exchanges are full of humorous turns. The story highlights how unrealistic it is to send love letters by jokingly rejecting the notion of doing so when they meet in person. Even though the main character thinks that Chief Maid Caitlin might be Perez's love interest, the story jokes around with this notion. This conjecture regarding Perez's romantic impulses lightens the tone of the chapter and helps to reduce the stress. The action moves to a cemetery on the fringes of the empire as the protagonist pays her respects at the tomb of Chief Handmaiden Ponta. The protagonist is offered a glimpse into a significant assignment that awaits her upon her return to the palace in a flashback that takes place 3 years prior, hinting at difficulties to come. Let's see when Chapter 128 of I'll Be the Matriarch in This Life is going to be released, the timings, and where to read it. Recap: Chapter 127 of I'll Be the Matriarch in This Life opens with the main character being told to get to the center of the empire at any cost. She is in shock and questions whether she is seeing things. Not only that, but Perez, a normally serious man, smiles. Following that, the characters discuss Perez's unusual smile and start to wonder if he is crushing on anyone. Chief Maid Caitlin is supposed to be the lucky one, but the main character brushes it off, stating that meeting up in person is preferable to exchanging romantic letters. They then bring up ridiculous topics like his love of meat and sweets. The main character then travels back in time to 3 years ago, visiting a cemetery outside of the empire to pay their respects to Chief Handmaiden Ponta. It is a heartwarming moment that gives his character more nuance, and he is appreciative of Ponta for her leadership guidance. Perez is a capable leader because of his devotion to Ponta. Following the tragic scene in the cemetery, the second prince, Perez, makes his way back to the imperial palace. There is conflict between him and his father, the emperor, who respects Perez's abilities but questions if he has what it takes to hold the position. Astana, a figure connected to the empress, wants to go to the General Assembly of the noble house. Their relationship is strained. The chapter revolves around Perez's attendance at the General Assembly since it creates political intrigue and raises concerns about the empress's intentions and the balance of power in the empire. An emerald mine is being given in exchange for a seat, which heightens the tension and begs the issue of what political games are being played. There are a lot of humorous, poignant, and even slightly political dramatic situations in this chapter. The main character journeys to the Empire Center in an unexpected order at the start of the chapter. The main character, a serious man, is seen grinning during his visit to Chief Handmaiden Ponta's grave, leading the other people to assume that he might be infatuated. This gives the narrative depth and increases the reader's empathy for the characters. We discover Ponta gave Perez counsel, and we witness a more vulnerable side to the personalities. Tensions increase when Perez returns to the imperial palace since he doesn't get along well with his father, the emperor. Conflict comes from Perez's misgivings about his capacity to rule as emperor. Readers are left wondering about the internal workings of the empire when Astana is introduced, and her interest in the General Assembly is added, adding a political element. Release date: I'll Be the Matriarch in This Life. Chapter 128 will be released on November 26, 2023.